Today I'll be reading Matthew 1 in the ESV of the Bible. If you want to read along, you can read in ESV and not anything else. But I'll try to refer to other verses, especially if I don't know what it means exactly. So try to look stuff up. Just kind of learning. I don't really know too much about the Bible because I don't read it too much. Of course, I try to live by it, but I just trying to learn. So I figure if anybody else needs help with it, we can just learn together. We'll read Matthew 1, just a whole chapter there. So it's called The Genealogy of Jesus Christ. The book of the genealogy of Jesus Christ, the son of David, the son of Abraham. Abraham was the father of Isaac, and Isaac the father of Jacob, and Jacob the father of Judah and his brothers, and Judah the father of Perez and Zerah by Tamar, and Perez the father of Hezron, and Hezron the father of Ram, and Ram the father of Amminadab, the father of Nahshon, and Nahshon the father of Solomon, and Solomon the father of Boaz by Rahab, and Boaz the father of Obed by Ruth, and Obed the father of Jesse, and Jesse the father of David the king. And David was the father of Solomon by the wife of Uriah, and Solomon the father of Rehoboam, and Rehoboam the father of Abijah, and Abijah the father of Asaph, and Asaph the father of Jehoshaphat, and Jehoshaphat the father of Joram, and Joram the father of Uzziah, and Uzziah the father of Jotham, and Jotham the father of Ahaz, and Ahaz the father of Hezekiah, and Hezekiah the father of Manasseh, and Manasseh the father of Amos, and Amos the father of Josiah, and Josiah the father of Jeshanah, and his brothers, at the time of the deportation to Babylon. And after the deportation to Babylon, Jeshanah was the father of Shealtiel, and Shealtiel the father of Zerubbabel, and Zerubbabel the father of Abuid, and Abuid the father of Eliakim, and Eliakim the father of Azor, and Azor the father of Zadok, and Zadok the father of Achim, and Achim the father of Elud, and Elud the father of Eleazar, and Eleazar the father of Mattam, and Mattam the father of Jacob, and Jacob the father of Joseph, the husband of Mary, of whom Jesus was born, who is called Christ. So all the generations from Abraham to David were 14 generations, and from the David to the deportation to Babylon, 14, and from the deportation to Babylon of Christ, 14 generations. Okay, so that's the first story. Interesting genealogy. I guess not too much takeaway from that, I can see. But I think it's just interesting that, to prove his lineage, and also that they're all 14 generations in between those two important events being the King David and the deportation to Babylon. Let's keep going. The birth of Jesus Christ. Now the birth of Jesus Christ took place in this way. When his mother Mary had been betrothed to Joseph, before they came together, she was found to be with a child from the Holy Spirit. And her husband Joseph, being a just man and unwilling to put her to shame, resolved to divorce her quietly. But as he considered these things, behold, an angel of the Lord appeared to him in a dream, saying, Joseph, son of David, do not fear, take Mary as your wife, for that which is conceived in her is from the Holy Spirit. She will bear a son, and you shall call him Jesus, for he will save the people from their sins. All this took place to fulfill what the Lord has spoken by the prophet. Behold, a virgin shall conceive and bear a son, and they shall call him Emmanuel, which means God with us. When Joseph woke from his sleep, he did as the angel of the Lord commanded him. He took his wife, but knew her not until she had given birth to a son. So he called his name Jesus. Okay. So from the birth story, pretty well known, I guess, the birth of Jesus. The fact that angel came down and went into Joseph's dream and, told him that Mary's son was Jesus. I guess in 122, where it says all this took place to fulfill what the Lord has spoken by the prophet. That's probably something in the Old Testament that I don't know. But, I'll learn in time. But, stuff like that is, I know of the connection between old and new and why it's important to know the Old Testament. It's the coming of Christ in the Old Testament. It tells of how he'll come. And 25, but knew her not until she gave birth to a son, and he called his name. I don't know really what they mean by that, but he knew her not until, I don't know what they mean by it. They didn't know, or Joseph didn't know Mary. Joseph, because in 24 and 25, when Joseph woke from his sleep, he did as the angel of the Lord commanded him. He took his wife, but knew her not until she had given birth to a son. He called his name Jesus. I don't know, I guess it's like, maybe they were like what he was going to do with the divorce. Maybe it's just like, he didn't recognize her as his spouse until Jesus was born. But, the angel told him his name was Emmanuel, or, he was God, so, I don't know, maybe I'll look it up. Okay, so in Matthew 25, it says, but knew her not until she gave birth to her son. As I'm seeing in the NIV version, that it says, but he did not consummate their marriage until she gave birth to a son. And then in the NASB version, but kept her a virgin until she gave birth to a son. So they didn't have sex. So kept her virgin until she was the Virgin Mary until Jesus' birth. So that makes sense. Well, that's Matthew 1. Not too much, but did learn something. So that's the important part. But yeah, I will read to tomorrow. See ya.